Today is Thursday, Parashat Vayechi. This morning in the class of Daf Yomi that we have before we start Shachrit, and by the way, this week the whole world started another cycle of 7.5 years of learning Talmud Bavli, and it was an incredible celebration all over the world as the world concluded Masechet, the final Masechet in the 7.5 year cycle. And this week we started Masechet Berachot, and in this morning Daf Yomi, the Gemara tells us of the importance of having a set place where the person prays. In other words, number one, to pray in the same synagogue, not to go one time here and one time another place, and then within the synagogue itself, to have a regular place where you sit and where you actually pray. Amidah is the most important, that it's not one time here, one time there. And this we learn from Avraham Avinu, that the Gemara brings the pasuk that indicates that he went back to the same place where he prayed before, so that a person should have a set place where he davens, where he prays. But the interesting thing, this applies not just to the synagogue, but also in your own private home. If for some reason you're not able to come to the minyan, let's say a person should pray with minyan in the synagogue, but if once in a while there is a compelling circumstances where you're not able to be in the synagogue and you pray at home, also at home you should have the same location in the house where you pray. And that applies, by the way, not only to men but also to women. Women have an obligation to pray at least once a day, and even if they don't pray based on the Sidur with the Kriyat Shema and everything included, and the Amidah, even if they just pray to Hashem, praise Hashem, express your requests, what you would like to pray for, and then be thankful to Hashem, even if you do it in that perspective, or if you use the Sidur as a woman and pray the full prayer. Either way, you should have a set place where typically you are doing your prayer, rather than doing it one day in this side of the house and another time in another side. So having a set place for prayer makes the prayer more likely to be accepted by Hashem and to be a better level of a prayer with the set place. The end of the Musar of today in Chok Israel speaks about the importance of Birkat Mazon. Birkat Mazon is the prayer that we say after we had a meal. And the Musar says, Birkat HaMazon de Oraita. Birkat HaMazon is a mitzvah that is from the Torah. It's not something that our sages decreed that said it's a good idea to say Birkat Mazon, but rather it's a mitzvah. The pasuk says, Ve'achalta, ve'savata, u'berachta. You eat, you're satisfied, you pray, you bless Hashem, and that's Birkat HaMazon. Ehmiru le'omra miyoshav. The requirement, our sages were strict to require that this Birkat Mazon is said sitting down. That if you're eating standing, you cannot say Birkat Mazon standing, you sit down. And if you eat sitting down, you don't get up and say Birkat Mazon standing, but rather sit down to say Birkat Mazon. Veyasim el libo shehu mevarech leHakadosh Baruch Hu al shenatan lo le'echol. And he should take to heart and concentrate and focus and meaningfully express the thankfulness to Hashem and to bless Him for the fact that He's given you food to eat. A person could not survive without eating, and that food ultimately was provided by Hashem. And you thank Hashem through the Birkat Mazon. I go one step further. This is not written here in the Musar, but if your wife, your mother prepared for you a meal, yes, you thank Hashem, but it will be proper to also thank and compliment and be grateful to the person who toiled and invested the effort to prepare the meal for you. So it's not just Birkat HaMazon. A guest, of course, add in Birkat Mazon a certain paragraph where he thanks his host. But I'm speaking here about not as a guest. You're in your own private home and somebody prepared the meal. You should also thank them or compliment them and express gratitude. Unfortunately, all too often we take things for granted, but we have to express our gratitude. And the Musar goes on to say, "Ur'ada ilvash lechaven karaui im ba'al nefeshu." And one should sort of garb himself in trembling. In other words, should have reverence and concentrate properly. As he says, Birkat Mazon, if he's a person of proper spirit. In other words, it's advisable not to say Birkat Mazon as a quick thing, just to sort of like just fulfill the obligation and let's get it over type of thing. Rather, a person should focus on the words, concentrate, have reverence in praying to Hashem and in thanking Him for providing the meal that you had. And that's the Dvar Torah for today. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.